Hi, everybody, and welcome to Man-O-Rama. I'm your host, Rancorsteve, and tonight we're going to talk about men's insecurity. You know, we have them. It's common. It happens. Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. Join us. Going to be a lot of fun. I like how there's wasn't me. I swear, wasn't me. Um. Anyways, thank you for coming to Man-O-Rama. I'm your host, Rancor Steve. We are going to be on Kailorin on X, Facebook, the YouTube, and Rumble. Don't worry, I'm not going to do a Heil Hitler salute. Like most liberals think that Elon Musk did. But anyways, let's get down to it. Vincent,
Here.
how's
Present.
your week been?
My weekend was wonderful. Thank you so much for asking.
That's cool. Dark Helmet. How's your week
Greetings.
been? As I'm about to cough.
Well, it's been great besides my tire surrendering like the French yesterday.
Hey, there you go. But other than that, is everything going well?
Had a rough past 2 weeks, spiritually, but I went to church Sunday and I felt better. My pastor, put the Holy Ghost in me and I feel good today.
That's good. That's good. Ordy.
All things considered, aside from almost needing to evacuate, been a great week. I mean, I got new ceiling fan hung, and it's life is good. Just in time for it to get cold again and start snowing.
Yep.
Ooh, very
So,
nice.
Yeah.
My week's been okay. I went to my wife and I. She took me out to see a movie. Don't worry, it was not Snow Bronze. I mean Snow White. Um, she took me out to see a Working Man, and turns out it was written by Stallone and produced, and it was actually a pretty good movie. I liked it a lot darker than I thought. It was because it's by the same director who did The Beekeeper, and I was like, okay, this is a very terrible movie, not that great, and no, this is actually pretty good. I liked it a lot. I was like, cool. So there is hope for B movies, because why not? Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, cool story, bro. I like how my cough went away after I got the flu and sinus infection. Now all of a sudden, like, hey, guess what? You're going to be coughing during your entire podcast. That's fantastic.
That's when you've become to year 2 of podcasting, where you get that annoying hack that never goes away.
Yep.
Dude, it never goes away.
He said my story was cool and he called me bro.
But we're going to get into, before we talk about our insecurities, like pansies, I mean, what? We're going to get into one of my favorite segments.
Before we dump out our purses.
Let me get my man pond out.
God damn it. So we're going to do Don't Be That Guy, where we pretty much, it started off wholesome. Then it just became, we're just going to screw with everybody. We don't care anymore. This is the part where we just mock everything that we find on, or I should say that I find on X or anywhere. This person said, this is stupid. I don't know. Canadian Spider-Man might agree with this one. Parents that refuse to vaccinate their children should have their children forcibly removed from them and charged with child neglect. Guys, what's the problem with this?
The problem is Ralph entirely.
That's communist talk.
Yeah.
He got 79. Like, here's the other thing. 79.4 thousand people looked at this.
Yeah, and I'm lucky if my tweets break 1,000.
likes, so he's kind of ratioed on that a little bit.
But guys, what's the problem with this?
It
Oh, go ahead.
Ugh.
I like how Order goes.
I'm
He's-
having to word myself right.
He's getting ready to drop the deep knowledge.
Yeah.
okay. So I get the anti-vax movement. I do. I don't subscribe to it, but I understand where they're coming from. But anyone who advocates the state to enforce the violence that they are too flaccid and weak to enforce themselves really needs to be taken into a long walk in the woods or sent into the east. One of the two.
Yeah, I agree with that. Like for me, I'm not very anti-vax. I think there's some vaccines that help when you're a baby. You just don't need to have 4,899 bajillion jabs after COVID. That's like it's a flu.
And that's just it. I get where COVID caused a lot of distrust with vaccinations because first of all, it wasn't a vaccination; it was a therapeutic. Second of all, it didn't even work. They had to redefine what a vaccination is.
They did.
In order to call it a vaccine. So, yeah, that's on them.
Yeah.
So if you want to say, "Hey, I'm not getting the COVID vax," I am 100% behind you. I get it. But if you're saying, "Oh, I don't want my kid to get dip/TED or anything like that because autism," well, that hasn't been technically linked, but I get your argument, and good luck.
Yeah, it's the problem I have with this is someone who is actually advocating for taking chill like this is the problem I have with the left is they're all for climate change and all that. They're now doing their own battle against people who buy Teslas and stuff. That's like a left eating their own left. Like that's insane. But it's the whole idea of like, you know what? We should forcibly take your kids away from you if you're not going to vaccinate your kids. Here's the other thing. During COVID, if you guys remember that, that was a shit show. If the Amish, Orty, you should know this very well. The Amish
Yes.
never had a single COVID problem. Why?
That's because
They
we don't have
stayed-
television
Well, that too. But they just stayed away from everyone.
or 5G.
They have half a G.
No, they have 1 horsepower.
Yeah, there you go. But that's the thing. Like this tweet doesn't.
It's an ignorant
Guys,
tweet.
Yeah, it is. It's ignorant.
It's ignorant. It's the same people who preach, oh, if this person doesn't do this, we're going to inflict violence on them. The person doing the typing has no conception of violence because if they did, they wouldn't bring it up.
These are the same people that teach tolerance and peace and freedom. They don't believe in any of that.
Mhm.
Listen. There are some good vaccines out there, and I'm
Yeah.
not any. People say no, I'm not. I just don't think you should be forced to take vaccines.
Exactly.
But I think there are absolutely good vaccines that have saved millions, if not billions, of lives.
Yeah.
But when it comes to certain vaccines, I think it should be a parent's choice. Period. No ands, ifs, or buts.
Yeah.
That's how I look at it. But I think there are certain vaccines a parent should probably give their kids they're proven safe. Any vaccine's going to have side effects. There's no getting around that. It'll never happen that way.
Yeah.
You're never going to get around that. But there are ones that are out there that have been around, decades that are safe. They're effective. They prevent certain diseases that are very deadly or very detrimental to long-term health. Those absolutely get them. But I think a parent should still have a certain say when it comes to their children. If you say they can't have any say in anything, then them parents are not parents anymore.
Mhm.
They're just renting those kids. They're under state control. I do not believe the government should force anything off on the kids and tell the parents they have no say.
Yeah. So we're gonna get that was a good one. I like that one. Here's
All my at the beginning was I wasn't going to do the thing I do, but I'm going to enjoy. For the left, violence is a dial. For the right, violence is a switch. Once you flip that switch, you cannot unflip it. So
Yeah.
is we're going to take the kids away from you. Oh, we didn't really mean that. And we're going to, burn your Teslas. Oh, we didn't really mean that. Where, they keep pushing. And then once that switch is flipped, it's like those big ass fucking circuit breakers on like huge fuse panels where it
Yes.
takes like 2 guys to pull it back off. That's what happens when the right chooses violence.
Well, here's the other thing. Have you always noticed this? And the left always make this stupid argument, like it's where we always say people are on the middle or on the right, or people who have a brain, say, come to the South, come to a red city or town or whatever, and try that. And then everyone's like, yeah, we did it in Missouri and all this stuff. I'm like, no. Come to an actual like middle to right place and see how that goes.
Doing it in St. Louis does not count.
Yeah, St. Louis does not count.
Although we defended Ferguson, I was there.
Yeah,
there's a point. But you also eat Provel cheese, so
yeah.
You shut your dirty communist mouth.
We're gonna get to the next one. This is a long one. Let me see if I can blow it up because it was all right. So, call to activism. AKA I get paid to do this crap. This person said, overheard at a grocery store by someone waiting in line behind a woman speaking on her cell phone. That's a big word these days. In another language. Ahead of her was a white man. Man, you're in America now. You need to speak English. Woman, excuse me. Man, very slowly. If you want to speak Mexican, go back to Mexico. In America, we speak English. Woman, sir, I was speaking Navajo. I'm surprised I even knew how to pronounce that. Yes. I get a gold star, everyone. If you want to speak...
Navajo. Yeah.
Navajo. If you want to speak English, go back to England. Guys, what's the problem with this?
It's not true. Guarantee it didn't happen.
Yeah. Those kind of tweets.
I've never heard that at a grocery store or a gas station ever.
And then everyone applauded because that's the meme you make from these kind of tweets.
Yeah.
Okay, Steve, I know that you lifted that from my quote tweet of it. The problem with that is that it's a copy pasta that's about 15 years old. That's why I had the comment of now do Navy SEAL copy pasta.
Oh, that's why I got it from you. I saw that and I was like, this is good. Okay, that makes wow. It sounded familiar when it was all written out. I was like,
Yeah.
Oh wow, they're necro.
I read the comments. One person says, "I'll bet you like $3.2 trillion this never actually happened." And I was like,
it didn't happen 15 years ago when it first came out either.
Yeah. It's stupid. I don't get why the left have to do this stuff. It's like, I feel like they know that we've caught on to them on this stupid stuff.
They're making money off of us saying this didn't happen.
And they're talking to the other stupid people with one functioning brain cell.
Because it's a clickbait. They've it's smart. I dig it. Okay. Hey, man, if you want to make $1, make $1. I have no problem with that. That's what we do in America.
I just find it interesting that communists are using Twitter to capitalism.
I know.
On their iPhones, yeah.
It's like
Shouldn't the chick be sending smoke signals.
It's like the chick in the airport who has a Apple laptop who has all these communist stickers.
Communist stickers on them. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. There was one chick at an airport, and I walked by. My wife's like, "Please don't, please don't." And I didn't know. I didn't see the chick, and my wife thought I saw this person. And then I look over and I was like, "Oh, this is it." She's like, "Please don't." I walk over. I was like, "You do know that the difference between communism and capitalism, right?" And she's like, "Yes." I was like, "Because you're doing both at the same time right now." She's like, "What do you mean?" I was like, "Your stickers are stupid and your laptop is retarded. Figure it out." And I walked away. She was pissed. I thought she was going to have to throw the laptop at me. And I would have caught it. I'd be like, "Hey, I got a free laptop."
Hey, there you
Put
go.
your face between you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Take a picture picture her with the camera on it and then change the settings. Yeah.
Have you
No.
ever noticed like women who are all for like communism are not that attractive at all? Like
No, they're not.
like I'm not trying to bag on women, but
No,
it just seems like they're
the thing
just
is
not.
these people are idiots because they think, "Ooh, I have a degree in
I have
no.
Fidel Castro sticker on my phone.
I have a degree
I have
in
a degree in interpretive dance, you
yeah,
pig.
there you go. A degree in interpretive dance, and somehow that they're going to be put in a position of authority.
What's
They're
the
going to be out picking beats with everybody else.
what's the degree in college now? It's like the lesbian dance or
Lesbian
Oh.
interpretive dance.
that's what it.
Intersexual lesbian interpretive dance.
What does that even mean? I don't
Nothing
Like-
at all.
Okay. Did you ever see
nothing at all.
back in the days of Sesame Street? Do you remember moving shots?
No.
Yes,
Kind of like mimes. They were
Yes.
all in black and they'd have toilet paper. That's
Oh yeah.
dance, basically, where you are dancing to convey a message, to tell a story, to
get government funding.
government funding.
It's almost like, have you guys ever been to, what is it? It's like vagina poetry, whatever it is. I don't even know what it's
Vagina
called.
monologues.
Okay.
Yeah, have you ever-
Yeah, I remember
was just
vagina
thinking of
monologues.
I haven't thought of that in years.
Have you ever been to one of those guys?
No, but you obviously
No.
I went on a date and this chick
Knew it.
who turned out she's like,
Oh.
hey, I want to go to an open mic, and I was like, okay, cool. And turns out she ended up being like ultra communist, pro communist and stuff. And I was like, geez, I dodged that bullet like a
Steve,
50 cal. What?
Did you rearrange her Leninist guts? That's all I want to know.
Oh yeah.
Okay, good. Next subject.
But I
Secular
sat down and
communist,
I'm like, what is this? It's all women just saying random shit, and I'm like, this is not. Oh, we'll just get to the next one. It's weird. Don't go to them. They're so
Liberal
weird.
white women are the worst.
Oh,
They just are.
Yeah, they
Liberal
need to-
white women will be the end of our society as we know it.
Oh yeah.
Their white men are checking out of the dating pool completely, and marriage included.
yeah.
Find yourself a Latina. They don't
Here, let
trust
me
that.
get. I know I have more. Where is it? Oh no, I'll save this one for last. Okay, we'll go to this guy. This dipshit.
And biker dad.
Yep, I just saw that.
I knew it. He was gonna pop in. Nope. All right.
Show
So
all.
I wonder if he saw that April Fool's joke about Peter Jackson doing the Silmarillion in 2028.
okay. So here's the thing. I fell for it for like 20 seconds, and then I realized what today was.
Yeah, me too.
Here's
I
the
can't
thing.
lie. I can't lie.
Here's the thing. Because were you as excited when you read it as I
Yeah.
was?
Yeah, I was.
Because he did say in an interview, he got asked, he's like, it would be really difficult. I would love to make that book into a movie. And then I saw the announcement, the fake prank announcement. I got super excited for 20 seconds. I was like, oh, hold up. I was pissed when I fell for it. I was like, damn it. I fell for it because I was excited. It's the one book I want made into a movie. But here
Then
we
you
go.
can understand it.
What?
So then you could understand it. You get a credit for trying to read the Silmarillion.
Oh, I know I can't finish it. It's so confusing to me.
But here's the thing: if Peter Jackson were to make the Silmarillion, it would be 21 hours minimum. It would be
Yeah.
7 3-hour segments.
Oh yeah, it'd be difficult. So good on the person who crushed a lot of people's hopes and dreams of getting that, because I would like to make it. But John Cusack, our dipshit of the week, said pathetic scumbag Nazi. I don't think. Here's another thing, liberals. Elon Musk is just trolling you guys, and you feed into it, and you also pay him, even though he doesn't own X anymore. Ryan Grimm said, guy slashing cancer research funding thinks people are too mean to him. Guys, what's the problem with this one?
Profound mental retardation.
That and that John Cusack exists. That's another major problem.
lack of people actually doing their own research.
Yeah.
Were you guys ever a fan of John Cusack before he became a dipshit?
No.
I like a few of his movies, don't get me wrong, but as a person,
I
I
like
was
One
like,
Crazy
eh.
Summer, but that was more for Demi Moore.
Yeah.
I like Hot Tub Time
Oh.
Machine.
Yeah.
See, the thing is, though, John
He's a
Cusack,
dipshit.
he might be remembered in a trivia question maybe 100, 150 years from now. In 1,000 years, people will still be talking about what Elon Musk did.
Yep, that's true.
You
Yeah,
said it,
If we
man.
ever make it to Mars, but with SpaceX, guess who's going to be remembered? Guess who's not?
Trump.
Yeah, and guess who's going to have the major city on Mars named after him? Yeah, it's going to be
Trump.
Musktown
You'll
or
have Musktown and Trumptown.
Elonville.
Oh,
Elonville.
Elonville.
Musk
then-
and
And then when you get down to the lower end of the town, it's Muskie Town.
Ooh, nice. So I was thinking about it. I like John Cusack films for everybody else that's in it. It's like War Inc. was a pretty interesting premise. It was a good movie, and fucking Hilary Duff was a smoke show in it. But
yeah.
Come here.
he was in it too. He was also there. I used to have a crush on his sister, though.
I won't lie, I like 2012, but it was just more for the effects than anything. They were good effects.
Yeah, 2012
And
was okay.
His sister got all the talent in that family. That's pretty much.
Oh yeah, she did.
Yeah.
She was.
So
great.
we're gonna get to the next one. This is a juicy one because I think we're gonna be split, or I'm just gonna be on my own on this one. But we're just gonna get into it because I think this is very important. We're gonna talk about Sydney Sweeney, her voluptuous smile. Sydney Sweeney called off wedding because she's not ready to settle down. As breakup with fiance Jonathan Davino.
Yes.
How do I feel like that's Danny DeVito's son for some reason? Is confirmed. Guys, what is the problem with this? If you can find the problem, because I have a theory behind this.
Oh, I'll tell you exactly why she's calling it off. Because
Go
she's
for it.
seeing Elon and Smashley Sinclair fighting on Twitter, so she wants to get some of that baby batter too.
I didn't think about that. That actually does make
Yeah,
sense.
she might want some of that Elon baby gravy.
Yeah, that or she's in Hollywood. There's plenty of community dick about that she could be riding. So, yeah. And if it furthers her career, so much the better.
Yeah, I mean, with Harvey Weinstein out of the picture, she's really got to spread it around to get that kind of protection. You got to kind of be communal fleshlight now, rather than just have one-stop shopping.
Here's my here's my theory behind all that.
All you can eat snapper buffet.
Golden Corral.
God damn you both.
Here's my theory behind it
Damn it.
is that Jonathan, who's seen here's the thing. I don't know. I wasn't there. I would have been distracted if I was there. Like, how you doing? To the Mount Everest and Mount McKinley's. Is he probably told her, hey, look, tone down on your sensual videos. I think he wanted to settle down and be like, hey, I want to marry and I want a woman. You could wear whatever you want, but just don't make it so sensual, because he's probably seen all the Sims. If you guys are watching this, you know who you are. You don't have a shot. You guys are fucking ugly. I'm just saying. Reality is going to come in. You're never going to hook up with Sydney Sweeney. I'm telling you. And she didn't want any of that. And she didn't want to respect him in that. Again, that's my theory. And she called it off. I don't know. Don't take my word for it. But most women who call off, who dress like this, tend
Scantily
to...
clad.
Yeah. Which is it? Look, if you want to do that, you can do that. I'm just saying most women in Hollywood tend to break off weddings or break off relationships because of what the man says. Hey, look, I want you to kind of tone it down. Don't stop, but just tone it down a bit, because you know what? I want to settle down with you. And he's probably viewing her as like, hey, look, I love you not because of your body, but just your personality and everything else that comes
He
with
wanted
the package.
respect.
Yeah, he wants respect, and she just didn't want to do that. Here's the other thing, Sydney Sweeney, you're kind of past your primes.
You know, I look at it like this, and this may.
Hey,
I'm not.
you're
When I
kind of,
say,
you know.
yeah.
Okay,
When I say
Steve
this,
shows violence this evening.
Hey, you know what? I'll say this right now. When a woman, I'm taking my wife out of the picture on this one. You know what? I'm taking her out. When a woman is in her 30s, she's kind of past her prime.
mid-30s, I would say.
Mid 30s. How do I know that? Your eggs are dry.
Yeah, because the older a woman gets, the harder their
You can
fertility
call me.
drops.
You can call me sexist and misogynist all you want, but biologically, guess what, buddy? Your eggs are gonna agree with me.
Now, may I say something? I look at it
Sure.
like this: if you get married to a woman, she should respect you. She should have a level of modesty. I'm not saying she can't have a little low cut something. That's fine.
Yeah.
But she should still respect her husband or the guy she's with. And the
Yeah.
guy should do the same in return, obviously. It's not like we're walking around with our Johnsons hanging out because we'd all be arrested. But
Yeah.
you know, when you get married, you should respect your husband. You know, there are certain things that should be just for the husband.
Right.
Well,
And that's how I look at it.
You also said that she's past her prime, and I have a bit of an issue with that.
What?
Well, not really an issue, but just something else I'd like to point out. You know, between Sydney Sweeney and, you know, say Helen Mirren, who's in her 80s, and both of them walk up to me and say, "Hey, Vin, you want to give me the wildest 90 seconds of my life?" I'm going off with Helen Mirren. Sorry.
Yeah, same with 76-year-old Jane Seymour.
Yeah, exactly.
Mine would be the lady I played Blanche on Golden Girls. If she walked up to me back in when she was doing Golden Girls, sorry, I would have.
Well, what I mean past your prime is like if a guy who's trying to settle down and want to have kids.
Oh yeah, I know what you're saying.
That's what I'm clarifying. But Helen,
it's
how you doing?
It's subjective for most people.
Yeah, but if Jennifer Connelly came up to me and I was single.
But if you're talking about like sexually, women actually get
hotter,
more into it as they get older. I'm trying to put that.
Wait, hold up, Order. You said hotter as they get older?
No, I said they get more.
I said hotter, but I meant that in the not only do they get more attractive, but they also get more sexual. See, the cruel state of the universe is that women reach their sexual peak the same time men figure out they have a favorite chair.
Yes.
I never thought about that.
And as a man with a favorite chair, I can tell you this is completely true.
That is actually true, yeah.
Hey, 2 quick points. So one, Gay Biker Dad says he only loves you for your body. He tolerates the rest of you.
It happens.
And 2, kind of off tangent, but going back to how I started the conversation, I want to know what is it about Elon Musk's dick that turns women crazy? Amber Heard.
I don't get it.
It's $500 billion.
Yeah, that is. Yeah, okay, yeah.
He has a big bank account.
Yeah, rubbing all that Bitcoin.
I will say this about Elon is when he said that we need to populate the country, the world, and everything. A lot of people say
he took it upon himself.
He literally went and was like, you know what? I'm going to do it. 15 kids or 14, whatever. He's a man of his word.
He is. He's living by what he's preaching. I'll give him that.
By the way, where are my brood mares? I was promised brood mares. Project 2025 was going to provide me with brood mares. Where's all the handmaidens?
All dressed in red. Yeah. Where's my handmaid?
Oh, man. See, I like that. See, now everyone's going to think, oh, I'm trashing on Sydney Sweeney. No, here's the other thing. People who are flocking, knowing now that she's single, everybody on X, everybody who has a fucking YouTube podcast who doesn't stop talking about Sydney Sweeney, guess what, guys? You don't have a living shot in hell. How do I know that? Trust me, you don't. Like, hey, I'm not like I'm not like the most attracting looking dude, but I got game. Even I don't have a shot. I don't
Um,
even know
yeah,
how I pulled
I
off
don't know.
getting
I
married.
kind of if I
Gay
was placed
biker
in
dad
that
likes you,
position,
so there you go.
if I was placed in that position, I think I'd have a fairly decent chance because while I'm not the most handsome man in the world,
That's because you will speak Shakespeare
I
to her.
have tremendous sex appeal.
That's because that's because it's Shakespeare on you, dude. You speak
funny guys
Shakespeare, and
punch up.
even you
Just
could.
because your hand does not turn you down, never turns you down, does not mean you have sex appeal.
This,
Hey,
this,
I'm gonna interrupt.
I can't do the joke.
I'm gonna put hope back into everybody's heart. Here's where you're wrong, Steve. Correct me if I'm
How?
wrong.
All right.
3PO got with Gina Carano, didn't he?
Wait, say that. Say the first part.
Didn't 3PO get with Gina Carano?
I think they're
Ooh.
just friends, as far as I know.
See here. Okay,
But if he did, good for him.
because I think
I
she's.
will give you the prime example. Billy Joel marrying Christy Brinkley.
Okay, there you go.
That's it.
But that's
He is
Billy
the piano
Joel.
man.
That's
So now when
no.
when
I'm
Harmonic-
talking about. I'm not talking about drunk 3PO because I don't think they. Well, if he didn't, he'd be a fucking idiot. But
I
but
thought
I
they
think
did.
she's like. I think she was dating. I think she's still dating the same guy when. See, I think that drunk 3PO is just there to kind of like manage everything for her. And even I was like, dude, they did it. But if he didn't, I was like, you're a faggot if you don't. Because that's
At least
Gina
he didn't
Carano.
try.
Yeah. He probably. Well, what I mean is like the low end ex YouTubers, like that.
We're all on the
Like,
same playing field, Steve.
what?
We're all on the same playing field.
I know. I'm putting myself in there. I'm a small channel. Don't worry. But it's like even I know is like, you know what? Even if I met Sydney Sweeney, I'm not even gonna try. Why? She's a very gorgeous woman, and I'm just not going to. I don't have the game to do that.
Don't take. John Wilkes Booth said that.
Yeah,
Exactly.
it's like you gotta stick to your lane. You gotta know, like for guys, when it comes to like dating everything, stick to your lane. Unless what?
You have to aspire to greater things, Steve.
Yes.
You have to take the shotgun approach. When you go out to a bar,
Talking about insecurities. There's one right there.
if you're single,
Aim high.
exactly. Take the shotgun approach.
No, you can't. I'm not saying you don't have to.
Here. You go to a bar. You go to a bar and you ask 100 women in that bar to gargle your marbles. 99 of them are going to slap you in the face, but that one girl, she's going to go home with you and gargle aforementioned marbles.
And guess what? She's going to be 250 pounds, and she's going to give you the best night of your life. I've done that before.
That's her gray in the dark.
Yep.
Exactly.
But here's what I mean is, what I mean for the guys is, you can shoot for the stars, but just understand that you're going to get no a lot more than you're going to get yes in that situation.
That's why you got to keep.
If you want a long-term relationship, you need to stay in your lane, I think.
Yes.
A really good relationship.
But if you're in college or you're single, you're like, I don't care, blah, 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 blah. And then you're like, you know what? This chick is hot. Here, like, Beautiful Mind had a good analogy of this when it comes to, like, picking up a chick. When he was breaking everything down with, like, the 4 women or, like, the 3 women. Mathematically, if you see 3 women and there's 4 guys, none of you guys are going to actually get it because all the women are going to think, oh, they're only for her. They're for me. It's like a game for them. They're just going to get all messed up. For a guy, it's like, you know what? If you're just by yourself, well, I would say if you go with a buddy, it's a lot better because if you're by yourself, you look like a creep. But if you're just with a buddy, it's like, you know what? I want to get her attention. Work with me.
You look like a creep. You
Yeah,
look like a weirdo. What the hell are you doing here?
I know.
You don't belong here.
And then she's gonna say no, and then you walk to your tundra, and she's like, "Oh, he's an outdoorsman." Yeah.
But to your point, too, Jimmy Soul told us back in 1963, if you want to be happy the rest of your life, don't make a pretty woman your wife.
Yes.
Mm,
It's kind of
I
true.
like that. So we're gonna get into the first question of the night. I kind of like that. You know what? I just like to shit on people who drool over Sydney Sweeney. I was like, dude, you guys are fucking idiots. Not a single one of you guys are ever gonna have a shot.
None of them are Cindy Crawford.
Oh, Cindy Crawford.
Mm.
I got a theory about that, too.
Oh, what's your theory?
Thanks for ruining it.
I don't care if you
You're
are.
gonna ruin it for me.
I don't care if you are Richard Gere. Cindy Crawford comes home holding up a habit trail and a gerbil and says, "We're going to try something new tonight." You're going to the hospital with a gerbil in your ass.
Yeah.
Worth it. I don't care.
Yeah. Or Kathy Ireland.
It's Cindy Crawford.
What about Kathy Ireland back in the day?
Oh yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
But still, 76-year-old Jane Seymour would.
Yes.
Hey man. Mm.
Would.
What about Sheryl Crow? For
If I were
$1.
at a dive bar, sure.
For $1. In the arms of an angel. See, that's the thing. If I was single and I met Sheryl Crow, we're playing Arms of an Angel, and we're doing it.
That was that wasn't Sheryl Crow. That was fuck.
That wasn't Sheryl Crow.
That
No.
wasn't Sheryl Crow.
That was Sarah McLaughlin.
That's who I was thinking. Well, Sheryl Crow. You know what? Either way, I'll have both of them.
No.
Sheryl Crow had that natural beauty.
Yeah.
I think.
Sarah McLachlan. Oh,
Yeah, she
man.
got that natural Percodan problem too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sarah McLachlan. Anyways, we're gonna get to the first question before I go into La La Land.
Before?
I want to thank Ordy for correcting me. I don't know why I got them mixed up. They're both hot. I don't care.
By the way, if Paula Cole shaved her armpits, I'd totally be in on that.
Hey, man, I don't care. Guys,
Looks
what's
like
something?
a buckwheat and headlock.
Oh my.
Guys, what's something you were insecure about, whether it is now or in the past? Vincent.
I really didn't have many insecurities when I was growing
Bullshit.
up, but one that I did have that I'm willing to discuss. My right ear is slightly larger than my left ear, and it's when you look, it's really noticeable. And I know that people have like different size ears. There's always some imperfections, but to me, it was just like when I was young, especially going through adolescence. Looking at it, I just felt like an absolute fucking freak. And that's why, when I was in like junior high and high school, I wore my hair really long so it hid my ears. But yeah, that's pretty well. Like I said, it's the only one I'm really willing to talk about right now.
All right. Ordy.
My massive cock.
Wait.
He stole my answer.
No, back when I was younger, I was really insecure about letting on that I was actually quite smart. Because in the 80s was the start of the pays to be dumb kind of thing. So I would actually make myself sound dumber than I was. Yeah, I had a much bigger vocabulary than I ever let on. I was afraid to use big words.
All right.
My gastronomic propensity knows no satiety.
Wait, so how is that like an insecurity? Like I just want to like.
No, because I was insecure that I would let, like I would just vomit out a big word. So I would actually just be terrified.
It's like when you just before when you were saying I know Shakespeare and shit, you had that look, that caustic look, like he's smarter than me. He'll always be smarter than me. I hate him. So that's what Ordy had to endure.
Okay.
So
I'm just
show some fucking sympathy. All right.
You know what? Just because you have a borderline retarded person doesn't mean shit on this podcast. Anyway,
Was there a point you were trying to make?
Not a
I
single,
agree. What?
not a single point at all. I just wanted to say
Borderline?
retarded. It gave me a chance to say borderline and retarded in the same sentence. That's it.
Okay, GBD wants you to show hole.
I'm not going to.
It was at this point you should have had a donut standing by and held it in
I
front of the
know.
camera.
Here's your hole right there.
There you go.
GBD, this isn't like a ocean biography. There's no starfishes here.
So Dart, as I'm Liquid Death. See, I don't know why I'm not sponsored by Liquid Death, because I drink this every Tuesday.
Because they like people over 5'8".
Watch.
I'm getting busted. I'm getting my balls busted right now. Anyways,
Busted my balls here.
yay, I'm going to the harbor. Dark Helmet, what is your insecurity or that you had an insecurity? Pretty
It's
much.
gonna sound stupid, but mine when I was younger, I was like, I grew really quick, so I was the tall, lanky, skinny kid in school. Then when I got older, so I got married, I developed a dad bod, because I became a slob. I became a slob. It just is what it is. I'm being honest about that. But then, the last year of my marriage, I decided I'm going to drop the weight. That was before I knew the marriage was over. And I maintained my lower weight, and I get less attention from women now. It's the weirdest thing. So for me, that's an insecurity. I know it sounds stupid, but that's it for me.
All right.
I'm convinced chicks dig the dad bod. I really
They
Oh,
do.
they do. They do. Anybody that says they don't, they're a liar.
I met a lot of women who are like, there's a phase that women go through that they're like, I want the guy who's got the abs, and now it's like, I just want a man who has a dad bod, like Vin Diesel, Jason Statham, like the older guys. I think they're daddy issues.
You notice they never go through a phase where they want like the 5'4" bald guy.
Or the phase where you tell them to step on the scale when they want a man that's 6'2".
No, let's get to what Vincent said. Fuck you.
Yes.
Fuck you. Real good. That was a good one. I'm not gonna lie. My insecurity is this is actually, I told you guys this before the show started, and it's actually a lot harder to say this now. It's not my baldness. It's not my height, even though I'm 5'4" and bald. It's shocking. Or my gray hair. I don't care. Wow, this is actually really hard to say. So I have stuttering problems. Shocking. And I have spasms, and my wife noticed when I've always had like stuttering problem growing up, and then spasms like when I go a little bit, like it's almost like Tourette's. I'll say that it's almost like Tourette's. It's not Tourette's. I don't have Tourette's. I swear I have Asperger's, but
if you did.
What?
I said it'd be a lot cooler if you did.
I know, man. Oh god, dude, this podcast would be even crazier. But I get spasms every once in a while, and sometimes some people will notice it, and I've kept it hidden pretty well. And or if what I think is kept hidden pretty well, and if other people notice it, then I'm not doing a pretty good job of hiding it. But my wife noticed it a few months ago, and she told me, "Why are you so afraid of people noticing your spasms?" And I said, "Well, it would make people think I'm different." And it was like, if they see that, then it's like they're gonna think like they're not gonna pay attention to the podcast. They're not gonna do all this stuff. I went to this whole entire thing. She's like, "You should own it. Like, you've done acting, you've done film. Like, you can make it into a character." And I was like, "That's not a bad idea, actually." And for me, I'm slowly getting used to me having my spasms and looking like a weirdo when I have that happen, and just owning it. and it's been kind of like an insecurity because it's like, you know what, like I've always been bullied. I've always been, name it, under the sun. It's like I've had that issue with me, and it's when you hear someone say like, you know what, who cares? Just own it. And I'm like, that's not a bad idea. Like just owning the fact that like, hey, I look like a fucking weirdo halfway through a conversation. Because here's the other thing, like Gary saw me do it one time, and he just looked at me like, the fuck did I just look at? And I was like, surprise. So that would be my insecurity. It's my stuttering, and because like I do a podcast and I'm like, I have to be, to me, it's like I have to say things correctly and all that stuff. And it's like I have to sound good. I have to sound like Vincent Shakespeare and all this shit. And I have to say all the words correctly. And then it's like as you get older and you do things more, who cares? I don't care if I can't sound proper like Vincent in his Shakespearean voice. Yeah.
Sorry, I had no hitch there.
That's my insecurity. Yeah, I saw you, dick.
Hey, you're busting his balls because he's a thespian.
Who? Vincent's a
Hey.
lesbian?
Yes.
Jealousy.
Jealousy.
Jealousy is a
Aren't we all lesbians here?
jealousy is a stinky cologne, Steve.
Hey, did you know if you jerk off, you're gay?
Oh, I mean, what? Not if you, as long as you have socks on, there's no eye contact.
Yeah. We're gonna get to the next one. Let me pull this up.
If you can work out the controls.
I've yet to figure that one out. No. How can guys overcome insecurity? Dark Helmet.
Best thing I could think of is one, identify your insecurities as a man. All men have to identify their insecurities. Some have one, some have multiple. I have multiple insecurities, but you really have to identify them. Take some time to reflect on the insecurity, and if necessary, talk to another man that may have the same insecurity or insecurities, and just kind of say, hey, what worked for you? Now, it may not mean it's going to work for you yourself, but you might find somewhere that you can find a balance with, is the best way I can put it, and try to really take time to change that. What instigates your insecurity?
Mm-hmm.
What sets it off? Okay, what can I do to try to limit that setting it off? I'm not saying you're going to get rid of it completely, but you can at least learn to control it and just take time. I think it's the best thing. Practice, practice, practice. See what works, what does not work. Go with what works.
All right. Ordy.
You know, it's the easiest thing to say and the hardest thing to do. But I'm going to go back and use. I say this about a lot of things, and this is another, case where it applies. If they're not signing your paycheck or sucking your dick, they have no power over you. So, no need to be insecure around them. But, like I said, that's easier to say than to do. Because, I mean, without getting into the litany of fear, the mind is the greatest. You're your worst critic.
You're your own worst
I
enemy.
hate you more than you do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree.
Except for me, a lot of fucking people hate me.
Fucking lesbians.
No shit, really?
Yeah. Right.
Have you looked at X lately?
Especially X themselves.
Jesus, dude.
Somebody in support has a huge hard on for me. Anyway, but yeah, it's like I said, it's easy to say, but you're your own worst enemy, and most of your insecurities, nobody fucking notices. They're up their own ass. They don't even pay attention to it.
Mm-hmm.
And if they're the kind of person who's gonna like give you shit for shit you're insecure about, you really don't need them in your life.
They're not worth your time then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you know what? They're not sucking your dick or signing your paycheck. And they sure as shit aren't your friend.
Yep.
That would be nice. You know.
Be
You
nice
want
if
a
they
But
friend that sucks your dicks, gives you a paycheck, and gives you compliments?
I
were
know, right?
Circle K.
That was so tasty.
GBD, you got a candidate over here. No, but
Oh,
that
he
is
got
true.
fired for
Men,
switch
as
his
men, we are our own worst enemy. We really are most of the time.
No, it is true, and I think a lot of guys, when like men, we don't want to talk about it for some reason. We're around other like we'll mention it to like a couple close friends and be
Yeah.
like, "Hey, this is one of my
I
insecurities
don't
about."
think it's a question of not wanting to talk about it. I think it's a question of finding the right person to talk to about it.
Yes,
Yes, I agree.
but Vincent, what's oh you did how
Yeah.
should guys overcome their insecurities?
Persistence.
Mm.
Find your weakness, and no matter what you need to do, whether you need to read a book, whether you need to listen to a lecture, whether you need to watch something on television, use that to help yourself overcome your obstacle. And of course, it's like Dark Helmet said, and it's like Orty said, people have their own, they're in their own world. They have their own minutia to deal with. They're not worried about you. They're worried about themselves. So why are you worried about what they think about you?
Mm.
Just power through it as best you can. Find a way. It's like my father used to tell me. If you can't find a way around it, find a way through it.
Mm-hmm.
So
Well,
power
here's
through
the
it.
guys who deal with insecurities. Have you always noticed that everyone's dealt with it before?
Hmm.
And whatever insecurity you have, there's probably about a billion people that have dealt with the same thing. So we shouldn't deal with insecurity. Like me, I have public. See what I mean? I can't speak. I have public speaking issues. I can't speak in front of a bunch of people, but here I am speaking in front of thousands of people. It's I can't do that very well, but other people have dealt with the same thing. So who cares?
Just
Like,
imagine your entire audience naked.
oh,
Uh,
Yeah,
yeah, but here's the thing. Hold
it
up,
does
Vincent.
work.
Vincent, hold up. Most of the guys that watch this podcast are all dudes.
Yes, exactly.
And gay biker dads will be like, woo! Show ho!
He's already taking his clothes off as we speak.
I know,
Rapidly.
and it's like, put your clothes on, back on, dude. No one's looking. He's all
I got a
like, but someone
recommend.
is. I'm in the mirror.
I got a recommendation for men. Stay away from these BS alpha male influencers. Those guys are the biggest group of degenerates and people with
Why are you trashing me,
personal
dude?
issues. Not you. You're 6'4". You just sit there and be quiet, little guy.
I'm 6'4". Yes. It's
No, but
5'4".
like them BS alpha male influencers.
Oh, the
Stay
fresh
away
and
from
fit.
stay away from those guys. Yeah, because the one guy's like, oh, this, that, and then they found out you know the story for that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we'll leave that alone. But like them BS alpha males, self-proclaimed alpha males, stay away from those guys. They're gonna put you in more problems than good.
If you have to tell everybody you're an alpha, you're not an alpha.
No.
Yeah, absolutely or
They
not.
got one that's facing 20 years and back in prison again.
Good.
Well, no, I got there was a chick that she listened to the podcast and she she told me, it's like, you know what? How dare you? I was like, what are you talking about? And of course, she had to pick one episode where we were very crass and humorous and edgy to the point of like, we were pretty dark. And she's like, you don't help guys. And I was like, what are you talking about? And she told me it was like near one of like the first early episodes. I was like, how about you listen to some of the newer episodes? Yeah, we say a lot of really crazy things, outlandish things. We're dudes. Like that's
We're
kind
men.
of what we do. Yeah. We're gonna make dick jokes, gay jokes. We're gonna make stupid things. We're gonna bust each other's balls. And she's like, I just don't like that. I was like, because you're not a dude. And a lot of guys don't know how to talk the way we do. Not saying like you have to go hang out with bros and
No, it's
talk crass.
a lot
We
of
just do it here because like we're fucking old.
because a lot of
Yeah.
a lot of people, especially with the last generation, grow up in single parent houses, and more often than
Yeah.
not, they're growing up with their mothers. They don't have a strong male influence in their life,
Yeah.
so
I
they
grew up.
don't
And
know.
I grew up that way. I'm still teaching myself. Not
Yeah,
that I
see?
blame my mom. She was a great woman. My
Oh
my
no,
yeah,
my
no, not at
biological
all.
father was genuinely abusive. He really was.
But
but
a
it
lot of people, like I said,
They,
they don't have that male influence in their life,
right. But
and unless it's like the rotating parade of stepfathers, for some
yeah.
of these women, and
those
that's
are the guys that those alpha influencers prey on. Is those guys that had no male influence.
exactly,
Right.
That's who they prey on.
exactly.
But she goes on to tell me, she's like, "You're one of those like major red pilled podcasts," and I was like, "What are you talking about?" I knew what she was talking about, but I wanted to understand, like, what do you mean? Like, get to the point. Don't beat around the bush. Tell me right in front of my face. And she's like, "You're one of those like Andrew Tate, Fresh and Fit, and all these things, like podcasts. You hate women." I was like,
We look fresh and fit.
"What?"
Do we look fresh and fit?
I know, like, just
We
because
look
my beard looks trimmed and perfect, but doesn't mean.
Dude,
we
But
look this old.
but I stopped her and I was like, "Ma'am, we may be a men's health podcast and we may be advocating for more men's stuff, but there's no way, shape, or form would we ever do anything of what those guys do." Like, I told her, I was like, "Look, if it's Andrew Tate, listen to probably about 5 to 10% of what he says is correct. Work hard, do all this stuff, all that stuff. The other things, he's just doing it for show." And then I turned to her, I was like, "Fresh and Fit are a bunch of faggots who fuck each other, probably, and they're idiots." And then she's just like turned to me, she's like, "Oh my gosh." And I was like, "Don't ever say I'm a red pilled Fresh and Fit and all them. No."
Red pilled. Fuck, I wish I'm black pilled.
Jesus. Oh man, I am getting black pilled.
I mean, I was
We're-
yellow pilled. Now I'm absolutely black pilled.
And
Dude.
Vincent's purple pilled. Yay! No, that's gay biker dad. He's purple pilled.
This is a show that just wants to help everyday regular
Yeah.
guys.
So she ended up watching the newer episodes. She's like, "I feel so bad." I was like, "Yeah." She's like, "Why do you got to make so many dick jokes?" I was like, "Because we're dudes."
That's what we do.
That's
We call
what-
each other gay. We make dick jokes. We make fun of
Like-
each other. That's what everyday men do. We
Like,
just-
one of the thing is, like, when Gary calls me sometimes, or even like Vincent, when you jump on right before, you be like, "What's up, faggot?"
yeah, exactly. When we're in the green room before the
It's
show
like-
starts, like, hey, you gay motherfucker, what's up?
That's what we do. It's a term of endearment. It's none of this like, it's like, nah, we're gonna bust each other's balls before the show starts. I'm like, all right, cool, that's cool.
if a guy simply walks in and shakes your hand, says, "Hey, how you doing?" He probably doesn't like you.
Yeah,
Yeah, and that's what I was
It's-
just going to do.
Uh-huh.
The thing that chicks need to understand is that we are the exact opposite of them in so many ways, but you'll be nice to each other and then cut each other down behind their backs.
Oh yeah,
We
women
cut
under
each other down to each other's faces and then talk about you later. Go, God, that's one cool.
in the
fucking-"
immortal words of Al Bundy, women understand women and they hate each other.
Yes, exactly. And already got it right too. We'll bust on each other from
Oh yeah,
morning until evening.
But here's
ripping
the
into each
thing.
other, and then when we leave, it's like, man, he is the best dude. I love
Yep.
that dude to death.
But here's the thing: is we won't bust each other's balls until one of us busts each other. Like, if let's say
You got to
I
open
hung
the
out with,
arms.
yeah, we're not. We won't. We'll be like, you know what? I'll be nice. I'll be polite until the other person. It's kind of it's a game of who's gonna do it first. And if I'm hanging out with one of you guys, we're both thinking the same thing. Who's gonna bust whose balls first? And usually I'll do it first just to break the ice because it's like that tension. I hung out with a friend of mine who's a really cool guy now. We didn't bust each other's balls that entire night, and my wife hung out with his wife, and it was awkward. It was so awkward. And then we were told, like, yeah, we're hanging out. I didn't even know, and he didn't know. And right out of the gate, I was like, what's up, faggot? And he's like, thank God. And I was like, you were thinking the same thing. That entire night, we couldn't stop talking about it. We were like, dude, the entire night is like, who's gonna bust whose balls first? And I was like, you have no idea how hard it was for me not to bust your balls. And then he's like, well, what were you gonna do? I was like, you had to be a flaming homo because you didn't have bourbon in the house. He's like, because I didn't get it in time. I didn't know. He thought I didn't like whiskey. And I was like, dude, seriously? And I wore the same fucking shirt. Whiskey helps. Yeah. Yeah, we're good friends now.
What a metrosexual.
We shit on each other so hard. Like, dudes, that's the other thing. I don't think women understand that if guys are just shitting on, like, Gary will trash me in front of everyone, trash talk me in front of everyone. But I know deep down he's just joking. But everyone else, there's some people are like, whoa, what? Like, if you do it around, like, women, they don't even know what to do with that. And then, like, on the drive home, you're like, yeah, that Brandon guy, or whoever, that guy's pretty cool. And they're like, what? You were, like, trashing him. You were insulting him. I'm like, no, I wasn't. Like, we were just hanging out.
Just guys talk.
That's what we do.
Hey, one more thought on the how can guys get past insecurity too? Because I meant to say it then.
Grow a pair of balls.
Well, no. Failure isn't fatal.
Yeah.
So don't be afraid to fail. I mean, we've said that in a lot of different topics. I mean, the only time failure is fatal is when you're dealing with fatal shit.
It's when you're dealing with explosives.
Yeah.
Or firearms.
Yeah, that too.
Or driving. But anyway, the things that you're insecure about, you're not going to die.
Autoerotic asphyxia.
God damn it, Carradine.
I was thinking of Michael Hutchins. Yeah, he found that new sensation, all right.
But that's
Actually,
like
that's one of my. That's when you know I've really had enough. That's one of the ones I'll bust out on Twitter. Say, hey, just make it look like when you go full Carradine, make it look like autoerotic asphyxiation for your family.
Yeah. It's okay, men, to fail. If you're going to fail, learn from it. Don't be like he said. Don't be afraid of failure. Learn from it. I've made plenty of failures in my life, but I've slowly learned from them. And I've been slowly bettering myself, especially once I started going to church and became a Christian. I've really made even more changes in my life. But it's okay to fail. If you're not failing, you're not learning. You're not growing.
It's not how many times you fall down. It's how many
Yeah,
times
you're not trying. Exactly.
What were you saying, Vincent?
Said it's not how many times you fall down. It's how many times you get back up.
Yep.
All right, Stallone.
There you go.
But no,
that was around before that fucking movie.
I know it was.
So,
I just, whatever,
Eat a dick, Baldy.
Hey.
Oh no, I'm choking on a million cocks. You.
Best meme ever.
But
it's so vascular.
It's veiny.
Veiny and triumphant.
See, if women, that's the thing. That's why, so I just put the podcast on Spotify, and it's 100% men who watch this, and they're all 30 to 40. Perfect age. But it shows an example that, some women have asked me, why do you have to be so crass to each other? I'm like, have you guys heard how you guys talk to each other? You guys are ruthless. That's the thing. At least men will find a point. For me, I'll hold on to it a little bit. I'm very patient. If someone's being an actual dick and I know it, I'll hold on to it. And then finally I'll be like, hey, look, chill. And then they were like, why didn't you tell me that time at that point? And I was like, because you weren't listening. Women are just, they'll be nice. And then driving home, that person was so mean. I was like,
No, I don't. I hesitate to say that women are evil.
oh, they are.
No, no, no.
When it comes
That's
to the gossiping and stuff, yeah.
that's
Oh,
too
they're awful about
that's too
that.
that's too broad of a generalization.
Okay,
Women, I don't want to say they're evil. I will say they're ruthless.
I'll agree with that.
My
Like,
ex-wife, when we would come home from places, she'd be nice as can be. They'd be all joking, gibbering with you, laughing. We'd go home, and I'd be like,
Well, the reason why I think a lot of guys think that women are ruthless, I'm not saying all women are.
no, not all.
There's some. If you go to LA, San Francisco, if anyone is living in San Francisco, is they try to pull you into it. And I'm like, I don't need to be pulled into this.
yeah,
Why am
that's
I?
the thing. They're used to that kind of reaction with other women.
Mm-hmm.
Because they'll be like three women talking, and then one says, "Oh, I gotta go," and then she leaves, and then, like you said, both of them start talking about the one that just left. When you're on the drive home and your woman starts talking about the other woman, she wants for you to be the other woman to talk to
And
draw you into that drama.
thank
And
God my wife doesn't do this.
she doesn't do this yet.
Vincent, just don't. My wife, it's. See, my wife.
Oh, is she like Dorothy Mantooth? Is she a saint?
Here's the thing. My wife is perfect in a lot of ways. She has some faults, but she's perfect in the sense of she doesn't like conflict. She hates it. She's dealt it with her family, and so she's like,
Please do not let that woman go.
no.
Ever.
It's
Ever.
she
Do not let
You got to
hate.
keep her. You got to
I
keep her.
give her conflict, and she hates it. Like I'm the type of guy who likes to have conflict. Like I feed off of it. I'm like, oh yeah,
You
I'm
do.
being.
You gotta get the blood going every once in a while.
But here's the thing: I'm being polite on X. I am. I've caused a lot of crazy stuff on X, and I'm like, all right, I'm gonna behave. I know I'm an asshole. I get it. Like even my wife goes, you know, you're an asshole. Like she'll come at me because she's like, you're the only person I'll come at you with this. You know, you're an asshole. I was like, and your point? She's like, that's all I gotta say. All right.
Say, baby, you knew the job was dangerous when you took
Yeah.
it.
But the fact that she's like very much calm and she's nice around everyone else. I was like, dude, I hit the jackpot. I don't know how I pulled this off, but
You
she's
did.
nice. Like, holy crap. She hates conflict. She doesn't talk shit about anyone. I'm like, that's great. She'll talk shit about me. That's the only person. And then you know what? I deserve it because I'm a shitty guy sometimes. But it's the fact that it's like I'm an asshole and I know it, but I have to hone it in because I know everyone else hates me on X sometimes. And it's like, you know what? I just call it is what it is. That's the thing. And there's a bunch of people on X who don't understand that, but they'll talk it. Like, yeah, I know it. And I'm like, really? Okay, cool. I'll talk shit back to you. And they're like, this guy's so mean. I was like, put a tampon up your ass and just walk away.
Oh, dude, you mentioned that. I have the perfect meme to send you. I'm gonna find it and then I'm gonna
Oh,
send it over
crap.
the private chat.
This is gonna be Richard Pryor.
No, 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 not at all. Not at all. It is what you just explained in a nutshell. But please do go on. I'm gonna look for that meme.
But it's like not all women are like this. It's you get some women who that's the other thing. There's some guys. Here's the thing, guys, who are watching. If you're with a woman who just will talk shit about another woman or her friend behind their back, because like, oh, this is what we do, run away, because then she's gonna pull it back on you one day. Find a woman who's just like, you know what? I hate conflicts. I don't want any of that. I just want to be friends. That's it. I have no issues. If like my wife, she said, you know what, my friends are the way they are, that's okay, I'll work with it. I'm like, that's cool. Me on the other hand, I'm like, this guy's a fucking dick.
I
Like
think men are a little bit more honest with each other than I think women are a lot of the
Yeah.
times.
But we do it in a way where we understand. Like I had Gary over for Thanksgiving and he was being polite and everything, but my wife, who knows Gary, she's like, he could have been a lot more ruthless. I was like, I know, but he's being polite. Guys know when to be polite when the time is right.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
But
check your DM, Steve.
oh man,
It's not bad.
you say that now.
Tell us how many inches it is.
Oh, okay, that's not bad.
See, don't
6.
let anyone hide your light under a bushel because they can't handle how fierce you are, my friend.
Yeah, and like she has seen how Gary interacts with me, dude. If like I know that sounded really gay.
No.
but,
I was just reading GBD stuff.
Oh crap! I've been reading
Buddy,
it too.
okay, I gotta read it too.
Yeah, he told me he's
Oh.
like, I'm gonna troll you guys. I was like, dude, yeah. Oh man,
Oh my.
leave it to gay
Oh,
biker dad
my.
to.
Hey, speaking
To
of Tyler in the chat, Tyler, I thought you were supposed to be on the show.
He
Fuck.
forgot.
Jesus
No, he
Christ.
probably had karate. You know,
Karate.
cha-cha.
Hey.
I did okay. So I did tell this. I'll tell this to you
Krav
guys.
Maga. Karate is the Dane Cook of martial arts.
So Tyler's been doing martial arts, and I was like, if we were in a fight, you got your hands and all that stuff. Like, what would I do? He's like, you'd grab the closest shit next to you and you just smash it against someone. I was like, yeah, I'd be that guy. I'd grab a chair. I don't care.
Yeah, people.
I'd grab a big veiny dildo. I'm gonna beat him over the head with it.
It's so vascular.
That's
Actually,
right.
that's not. See, Dark Hamlet's onto something here. Because if the guy gets beaten with a big old dildo, how is he going to explain how he got beaten?
Especially if it ends up on the news.
Just make it a big
Yeah,
old black
like-
dildo.
That manhood,
got
that
beat
man
by
card's
him.
gone.
It's like fucking Hatchet Harry and Lockstock
Hatchet
and
Harry.
Two Smoking Barrels. They showed that flashback
Yes.
where he beat the guy to death with a 10-inch black dildo. Oh god, I love that
Like,
movie.
how are you going to explain that? How'd you get that black eye? Because you got to come up with it real quick. Like,
It's like I was saying, it's like in Tommy Boy when he got hit with a 2x4 across the face.
not right here, but right here.
It's right there.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Yeah, how would you explain that one? I
just
fell
care-
down a couple stairs. No.
Why is that bruise got a mustard tip on it? And why is there veins on your bruise on your faces?
Looks like you got pig blapped.
Oh. Snorted.
That's what you just say. I was in game 4. And got
So there's a scene
It's actually
in
less humiliating.
we've now gone way off rails from Insecurity to now
Insecurities,
this.
pig blaps. Yep.
Yeah. There's a scene from I think it's
I'm insecure about getting beat with a big veiny dildo.
yeah. There's a scene I think from Den of Thieves 2 or whatever, some movie that Gerard Butler's in. And the chick's like, how did you guys meet? And the guy said, prison. And Gerard Butler said, gay cruise. I think that's the funniest thing ever. It's, yeah, if you're around a couple buddies, pull that line. Because it's funny as fuck. Because everyone's going to be like, what? Just gay cruise.
Hey, key party.
Yeah.
You say that, then you just turn around and walk off.
Oh, yeah. I'm out. See you
Yep.
guys.
Just leave. There ain't no way that the other guy can explain it. Nope.
He's got to explain it. Yeah, you leave the other guy. You're like, it's on you now. Come up with the story.
It's like, how'd you meet? Well, it was a warm southern night. The top was down on the car. His hand found my thigh.
Oh,
Biker Dad's going to be like, can I come on now? Oh. He's going to do some, like, tunes
Dude,
and dance.
Dude, he's so moist. He's so moist. He's sliding out of his chair.
he's sitting there wearing
man.
assless chaps watching this episode
He
right
is-
now.
Here's the other thing. I've always been criticized for being homophobic on the podcast, and rightfully so sometimes. But the moment I had Gay Biker Dad on, is the moment gay people started tuning in and liking and bombarding the shit out of this podcast because they're like, finally, a gay person is on the podcast with men. And then you get all the white liberals who are like, you're so homophobic. Because, like, have you watched our show?
This is what men do. This is exactly
Yeah.
whether they're gay or straight. This is what we do.
Oh, yeah. So we're going to get to one of my favorite parts.
What's next, faggot?
Watch me, faggots.
So we're going to get to one of our favorite topics.
Sounds like Steve is.
It is not that one. Why am I doing? Man, oh, it's this one. Gay biker guys is like, I'm lubed up, guys. So this is the part of the show where you can actually go to the Rumble channel and you can go a Rumble rant and you can give your tip of the hat, which is probably the most gayest segment you can possibly think of for a title. Tip of the hat. I'm just saying it.
No,
But
No.
But this is where we actually praise people. We've branched into mothers. It could be anyone who inspired you to be a better human, and a better man. Not human. Wow, God, dude, I just went liberal for a second on that one. Ugh, I need a shower now. Gay barker dad, don't get any ideas. Dark
guy.
Dark Helmet. Now I'm gonna go take a shower. I'm like, is anyone behind me? Don't drop the soap. Anyways, Dark Helmet, who's your tip of the hat for this week?
Well, last time it was my pastor, but I'll say this time it was a guy that lived in our neighborhood. He was very much a father figure to everybody, not in a weird way. He actually genuinely was, and he got me into liking building stuff and doing like construction related stuff, and that's something I've always held on to, and I've always remembered. He was a very good guy.
All right, cool. Vincent, don't steal Ordy's answer.
No, I'm not going to.
Okay.
I think my tip of the hat will probably go to Marlon Brando.
You bastard! You stole mine. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, and most particularly, everybody knows him, from The Godfather and On the Waterfront and everything. But in 1953, he played Mark Antony in Julius Caesar. And to this day, people say that's probably one of the best performances of Mark Antony. And he only did Shakespeare once. He did that film. And all of the people who were in the cast who did Shakespeare, John Gielgud, James Mason, a couple of other character actors as well, said it was one of the best performances they've ever seen by someone who wasn't stage trained in doing Shakespeare. And he got an Academy Award nod for it. He got the nomination. He didn't win it, but if you can go to YouTube and see, just type in Marlon Brando, Julius Caesar, and that funeral oration, friends, Romans, countrymen, it's incredible because, you hear other performances and people are like, friends, Romans, countrymen, and he got it right from the beginning because, you see a funeral oration, thousands of people have shown up because they hear Caesar's dead. When he says friends, Romans, and countrymen, he's screaming it to be heard over the crowd. He's actually playing it like it's supposed to be played, like you're actually speaking to several thousand people. And just the power of his performance was fucking amazing. And if you watch, even if you're not into Shakespeare, you need to just watch that movie, just for that one scene. It's amazing. But yeah, that's all I got.
Ordy,
quick, getting back to Marlon Brando, one of his favorite roles, aside from the Palm Sun commercials, one of my favorite roles of his was actually The Freshman.
Yes, that was a good one. That was very good.
Yeah,
And
playing himself, well, playing the Godfather.
Yeah, it was just a complete send up of his role in The Godfather, and
Yeah.
he nailed it. It was awesome.
Yeah, if you haven't seen it, that movie's just good fun. Steve, I'm gonna be honest with you. I really thought I wasn't gonna make the show tonight. I didn't put a moment's worth of thought into tip of the hat.
That's okay, you dick.
Um, listen here, you little shit.
All right, faggot.
Actually, okay, just an impromptu one. I'm gonna throw it out to Gay Biker Dad just because when he did the Russian Lord of the Rings on the Vincent Charles project, he had seen a total of 8 minutes of it, and he was able to bullshit his way through it pretty fucking brilliantly.
Convincingly.
Yes.
Oh,
Ooh.
man.
Seen just enough highlights that
I sent him a highlight reel of the show. It was a 2-hour show, and I sent him a highlight reel that was like 10 minutes long, and well, he absorbed every 10 minutes of it. It was
Yeah.
Oh, I bet he absorbed it.
oh yeah.
he got all because it's. I mean, he thought we were going to be doing a live watch like MST3K, so it was like before showtime, and yeah. So, but no, and also, you know what? He is one of the funniest motherfuckers on X. He really is. So
He's pretty funny.
Yeah.
When he tags you in some random gay shit, and then all you see in the morning is like 20 notifications, like what? And then you're like reading and you're like, whoa. Okay.
It's like you see all those notifications. It's like, I'm not that popular. And then you click on them. It's like, yeah, I'm not. I'm just tagged on one of his threads.
And then he's like, show hole.
He does the Tolkien thread every day too. Which did you not do one today, or did Twitter fuck with me again? Because I didn't see it in my mentions. Anyway,
he did I think he did an April Fool's related one later in the day, not in the morning.
Okay, so Twitter may have fucked with me, or I just didn't see the read more. Anyway, fuck it. No, he's awesome. If you're not following him, do so.
Yeah.
Another homo on twitter.com.
My tip of the hat. Who am I gonna pick? Which one of you bastards? No.
You make me moister than anyone else. I didn't say it. GBD did.
I would have to say. Oh, he did. I just read the comment.
He's moister than an oyster.
Oh, man. For me, it's hard because it's like I'm the host and I should know this stuff, and I'm not that prepared on it. I'll say Andy Masterson because I was gonna pull a prank today and say this was the last episode of Man-O-Rama ever, and I called him up and I talked to him about it, and he kind of corrected me a little bit, and just the conversation after, it was just of like how to keep yourself calm, like instead of causing problems. And I was like, you know what, that's pretty cool. Like I learned something, and I don't really talk to him much these days, but when I do, and I'm trying to get him back on, and I know some people freaked out, like, where's Andy? It's like, well, I've given him a break because he's always on different podcasts, and I don't want him to. He has other things to do in life, and I don't want to overexhaust him. But just talking to him on the phone, you learn a lot, and I learned a lot from him today, and I really appreciate it, and it just reminded me. I was like, you know what, you got to do that a little bit more, and as I fucking cough. Way to go, cough. My body hates me. But that's my tip of the hat. It's just I learned something close to it from a close friend, and it's cool. I want to thank Dark Helmet, Vincent, Orty. You guys have been really cool. I know a lot of people haven't been able to come on because they're sick or they forget. Brother Tyler, you queer motherfucker, you. That's okay. And Orty, I love you guys. You guys are cool. You make the show happen. It's cool. I dig it. Yeah. we
Is it like the love for a good cigar or the love,
To smoke a cigar.
yeah. But
the
I will
love that
be
dare not
on
speak its name?
this Saturday. I will be on BS Drunk Movie Reviews. This podcast, it's pre-recorded, so it's not live. They said you can pick any movie, and I automatically said Cruising, um, because that will never have me back on to that podcast. But I'll be talking about Tropic Thunder because no YouTube channel wants to talk about Tropic Thunder. I know they do blackface, big whoopie fucking do.
The best black actor ever.
Yeah. Um, but I'll be on that.
James Earl Jones.
Yeah, I'll be on BS Drunk Movies review. Talking about Tropic Thunder. It'll be cool. And when that's up, I'll post it. I it's taken me a lot longer than I thought. To put all the episodes on Spotify. Yeah, you have 119 episodes. It's going to take a while, but we are going to be on Spotify. So I'm putting starting from on Rumble, which I think is episode 20, and just posting as much as I can in a day of those episodes. So we are on Spotify. You can go check us out at Man-O-Rama. And yeah, next week we're going to talk about what men struggle with.
My massive.
That was good. Oh, you motherfucker. Stole my answer.
Gay Biker Guy's like, really? I'll be on. Yeah. So I want to thank everyone who is joining us on Facebook, X, YouTube, Rumble, wherever you're finding us, Spotify. Thank you guys so much. The fans, you guys are awesome. This is why we keep doing this. Even if it's a small amount, we'll keep doing it. It doesn't matter. On that note, we'll see you guys next week. Ciao.
Hell Hydra.
Hail Hydra.